want some, get some, bad enough, take some.
Hello and welcome back to FANGIN and BANGIN with Gangrel and Kid Cadet. I believe we're around episode 8 now. Have we made 8? Yeah?
8 is great.
8 is great. So, I just had a brain fart. I was going somewhere and I got lost.
Chuck E. Cheese.
No, not Chuck E. Cheese. No, what's this drop? Oh, Chunky Cheese. Chunky or Chucky? It's Chucky or Chunky. See, I got a lot of heat over the years because I would say Chunky Cheese. Well, you go to Chuck E. Cheese too much, you're going to end up Chunky Cheese. That's all I know.
I like that. So before we get started, because I think we're deeming this like a Money in the Bank-ish episode.
We are. Is that what this guy over there
producer
said?
Raymond.
Yeah, okay.
He hands us paper and he's like, here you go.
Okay. So,
I have some notes.
Okay.
Okay. So.
Notes like notes or what kind of notes?
About Bigfoot.
Oh.
Because I had to do a little research because we were talking about it.
Right, before you go any further, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I got you something.
You got me.
Oh, I got you. Kid Cadet, I Bigfoot you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is on. Where'd you get this?
Lisa and Roy, they have the Yeti Go site. Was it Yeti Set Go on Facebook? So they send me tons and tons of Bigfoot pins and stuff, cool Bigfoot merch. So, so I figured I just ran across that and I go, I know the person I'm going to give this to.
Thank you so much. Oh my God. It's like Hanukkah. Okay, so these are just...
How many days of Hanukkah is it?
8.
8. So you get gifts all 8 days. That's another story. We'll come back to
that. Yes, that's a whole nother... Once we get closer to the holiday episodes,
okay.
we'll talk about the Hanukkah. So this is what I found out. Mm-hmm. You got a little...
Yeah.
Okay, so a study from Baylor University in 2007 says that only 16% of Americans actually believe in Bigfoot.
16%?
Yes. 44% said that it probably does not exist, and around 40% says it absolutely does not exist. So,
hold on. 44% doesn't believe it exists.
Yeah, probably
and what was the
not.
other one?
Probably
not.
And 40% says absolutely does not exist.
To the 16% of you that believe in Bigfoot, you freaking rock. The rest of you, bah!
And so you're
more stuff caught in my throat again. I'm not gonna say it.
So you're part of the 16% that says it's a go. He's a.
I want to know from all of you out there. I want to know from all of you. I know you believe in Bigfoot.
I believe after. There's this crazy video that I watched, and I made my husband watch it a couple times because I was like, what am I watching? So it was a video footage from Patterson Gimlin, which took place in 1967, and it's like the most...
Where? Patterson
Gremlin, I think it's pronounced.
Gremlin, like Gremlins?
Gimlin. Yeah. So you can actually
I believe in Gremlins, too.
That's a whole... I'll have to show you my Mogwai impression. But it's the most famous footage where you can actually see the Bigfoot. Like, he's, like, walking super fast. His head turns... It's scary. And half the comments are like, oh, this is the best, like, ape suit ever made. And then the other one's like, you can literally see its muscles moving. Have you seen this footage?
But for the record, when she said the best ape suit ever made, she did the quotation thing. So
yeah.
With the finger,
oh, yeah.
so she's mocking you guys.
Right.
So,
the video is crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. I've probably seen it. I've seen a lot of Bigfoot videos. But I do get disappointed by the Bigfoot shows.
I've never seen a Bigfoot show.
They leave you hanging. They constantly, and then they never explain anything.
Cut to
they
commercial.
Just leave you commercial, and then they come back, and then they vaguely touch on it again, and they move on. You're like, so nothing? Like the ghost shows. I know we spoke about the ghost things and stuff, but
right.
The ghost hunters and this and that. Do you see the hand on the rail? No, I don't see the hand on the rail. Oh, he came down one floor. No, I didn't see it come down one floor because your cameras are back on you guys saying that.
Right.
So if you saw it, why didn't your camera see it? So like, it kind of ticks me out because I have seen spirits and ghosts and stuff. I've seen them, and I'll swear to my grave, I have not seen Bigfoot, but I've seen spirits and ghosts. And they're like, oh, did you see the hand on the rail? But no, we didn't. They're telling everybody. It's like us sitting here. Can you see Raymond? Look at that. No, they can't see Raymond. So what?
He's
really
there.
Quit jerking us around. Like I've gone on one thing and come away with an actual photo. You guys do hours and hours of shows and there's nothing. So what is up?
I don't know.
All right. I'm not going to get on.
He's a little heated, but the other fun fact I found out about Bigfoots and Sasquatches is their favorite food is clams.
Do what?
I don't know. It says they like clams.
Clams. Freshwater clams, I assume.
I would assume so.
Freshwater. So, or, because they mostly live by lakes and stuff. So it's got freshwater's clam, right?
Yeah.
Freshwater clam.
They have expensive taste.
So, do they take their Bigfoot fingernail and pop the clam, shuck it open, or
I don't know.
Is it?
And I don't know where they
I don't know why I was always in the assumption it was like vegetation or something. I don't know. I don't think they were vegan or vegetarians or anything, but
a vegan Bigfoot.
Vegan Bigfoot. He'd be the leaner one, I suppose.
Is there lactose in this?
Well, I'm thinking the vegan Bigfoot would survive a lot longer than one, because then you don't have to. You forage. You're out there. You don't. If he's carnivore, they got to go actually kill something, knock the head off, and then there's more. I don't know. You got more to explain if you're going to be like, in the shadows.
Right.
Like,
Makes sense to me. But
so nothing about porcupines eating the bones.
I didn't see that.
Nothing there. Huh?
No, just the clams.
One day we're gonna have to dedicate a whole show to that, and I'm gonna go do my own research and
Okay.
come in with my own rants and what I believe and what I disbelieve is out there.
Right. Raymond, are you a believer? No. Like,
So he's part of that. Are you the 40 or the 40?
are you like a maybe?
Are you a possibly? It doesn't.
We'll have to show you this video after, and then you can make a decision. The video is crazy.
But yet you believe in Undertaker.
believe
You believe in the Undertaker can sit up from the dead, rise up to Paul Bearer's urn of ashes, or whoever's sister died, or brother, or mother. Who's in that? Who's in the urn?
Mom and dad.
See, there he
Oh,
goes. His
then-
mom and dad's. So you believe he can go. You gotta check out Lucha Labs. You ever seen check out Lucha Labs?
I think we talked about
Yeah,
Lucha
yeah, you
Labs,
go on
yeah.
there, yeah, because they're doing the Gangrel Ghost Stories, GGS and stuff, but they also have these things like where they'll say, the Undertaker's blood. It's like really scientific. They break it down so like, God forbid you smoke weed or anything. I don't, but
I can't.
they draw you in, so you'll be like, what? You start believing, and you go, no, what am I listening to here? It can't be possibly true, but they would like try to explain it because he was from Death Valley, he had so much iron in his bloodstream because Death Valley, what people tend to whatever in Death Valley end up with iron in their bloodstream, and there's a magnet in the urn, and it draws Undertaker, so when he lifts it up, he powers raise up to it. It really draw you in because they do it like so legit, like a nerd. Like no, I'm not a nerd. I'm sorry, a scientific guy, very brainy, smart guy in a lab coat, or a girl. They had a really nice girl with glasses doing it too. Draws you in because she's really cute. And
Lucha Labs.
yeah, Lucha Labs.
Lucha
So they
Mermaids.
what's that?
I believe in mermaids.
Now you're just getting weird.
Mermaids?
Now you just took it to a whole other level.
That's more
Mermaids.
realistic than a.
Hold up.
Mermaids. I mean mermaids. If you would have said mermaids, I would have been, I'd kick you there. But remember, you're saying mermaids.
That's real.
In the comments, just Bigfoot or mermaids. Let's take a.
Hey, all right, wait, hold on. Let's go back to these mermaids. You think the mermaids are what sunk the Titanic?
No, it just
Oh.
we have.
Wow.
Or you think, not the giant squid coming out of the sea that drags you down to the abyss, but a mermaid. The
mermaid.
sirens, right? Like the sirens.
Sirens are a little different.
The
than
sirens are
mermaids.
different than mermaids?
They are, because the sirens like sing the sea songs to make the sailors crash on the rocks.
Oh, was that kind of like
Sirens
in,
are like bad.
Old Brother Out Thou? They were sirens when they were singing down by the water, and they turned them into a horny toad. They turned him into a horny toad. No, you never seen Old Brother Out Thou?
That's
They were singing
Chuckle-
with these three girls singing in the
George
water.
Clooney, right?
Yeah, and they were singing in the water, these three girls, and he goes down there, and then next thing you know, they think he turned his buddy into a horny toad. So I'm thinking they were sirens. They lured him in with pretty singing, and it was
Then
pretty
possibly.
girls, and then turned him into a frog toad.
This is
Horny
very,
toad.
This is very possible.
Sirens, mermaids, octopuses, Bigfoots, vampires. Next thing you know, you say you don't believe in vampires. What the hell? Do you believe in
Raymond, you better
vampires,
not.
Raymond?
Of course.
Okay, thank you. All right, wow, you balanced out your
Okay.
50-50. All right.
We're going to
All
Chuck E.
right,
Cheese.
let's okay, where are we at?
Well, you
Mermaids.
had mentioned Paul Heyman.
I
And-
mentioned Paul Heyman.
Oh no, Paul Bearer. You mentioned
Paul
Paul Bearer,
Bearer,
which
okay.
got me thinking of Paul.
I try
Heyman.
not to mention Paul Heyman at all, but go ahead.
Well, okay, so,
I'm not
so
a
you got me
big
thinking.
fan of Paul Heyman or anything like
Oh
that.
no, okay.
All right,
Is that a whole nother?
No, it's not a whole other story. I just don't believe anything he fucking says. Excuse my language. I'm sorry.
Don't-
Sorry, you too.
Doesn't believe in mermaids. Doesn't believe in Paul Heyman.
Oh.
So who?
What, do you believe in mermaids?
I don't know.
You don't know about mermaids? Okay, all right.
I've never thought about it long enough. But I love The Little Mermaid. She's fantastic.
What's her name? Ariel?
Yeah.
All right. I know. I've heard of her. She's cool.
Well,
she got street credit, you know.
When she was on the street, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she worked the streets too?
No, like she got her legs.
Oh, okay.
Cheers. There's Sprite in here,
There's
guys.
only Sprite in there.
It's Sprite.
It's only 9:30 in the morning here.
Mm-hmm. So Paul Bearer.
Paul Bearer.
Would you say that he is one of the greatest managers of all time?
Percy Pringle, Paul Bearer, greatest managers. I'm gonna go. Yes, he's up there. I think just iconic. Like you think Undertaker, you're gonna know Paul Bearer, right? Kane, Paul Bearer. One of the stronger, darker storylines. How fire, burning, funeral, more, all that. Yeah, he's up there. But there's a lot of great managers. Bobby Heenan was a great manager. Jimmy Hart still managing to today, great manager. The Grand Wizard. Remember the Grand Wizard? He was like really ahead of his time. Ed or whatever his name was. With the turbans and the sunglasses and all that. So, and then there was not to bring up Luna and favoritism, but she was a really good manager. She wasn't the strongest of wrestlers. I could be honest to say that. But as a manager, there's so much more to being a manager in professional wrestling. And I try to explain this to people that you have to, if you're going to be like, say, Miss Kid Cadet, you're going to be a manager. You need to know his stuff, my stuff, the referee stuff, and you still got to be able to read the whole arena, the fans and stuff. So you're out there, you're ringside, man. You got ringside seat to everything that's going on. But you are a key factor to everything that's going on because wrestling is human error, right? Everything, you're out there, things happen, people get hurt, things go awry, maybe you get hit in the head, you can't remember what you're supposed to do next. Crucial moments, matches are sinking. A manager's got to be able to read all of that. Female or male, the manager has to read all that and adjust and fly and cover for that. So they got to know when and when not to take away from the match, when to add, when not to, to take from it. Like, so you don't want all the tension on you. So if you see that they've obviously botched something or something's gone wrong and they're trying to cover, so all eyes are on them in the ring. Well, you take all eyes off them on the ring and shift all eyes onto you, and you turn it up a notch. And you do something to draw attention. You draw people to look to you, and it gives them a second to recover. It is so important, and I get so upset when I see people not utilize managers or people that have talent out ringside for things because they're too worried about, I gotta get my shit in. It's if you have a manager out there, you, your opponent, and the referee. That's 4 people, and that's 4. Everybody's just as crucial. But a manager really has to know everything that's going on. They got to know your personality, their personality, this, so they don't take away from it. So if you're going for something signature or something this and this and that, you can't just go, scream out and shut your mouth, or whatever to the back row, which, you really don't have to do to your heat. You can do it with your work and movements and stuff. And another thing about managers is they got to know when and when not to move, which becomes a distraction out there. So like a lot of them want to go up and down the apron. So if they're constantly moving and going up and down an apron, when you go to do something to do something that's going to be the tide turner or maybe even be a part of the result of the finish, they're not going to possibly be watching because you moved up and down all the time. So you got to make your movements count. Your movements got to count. The intent. You show intent on your face, but you don't necessarily have to move with your body. You got to show intent, like I'm going to get up on that rope, but you don't go. So they got to be able to be drawn to you and watch so they don't miss that key factor in the match when it happens, whether it's the turn of the tide, the good guys, shining through, and then, the manager did something evil and calculating, but it can't be missed. If you're moving up and down the apron, if you're constantly yelling and you're constantly mocking with the fans, they're not always watching you because then that's all this time. So it's you have to be really, really on point to be a good manager, Wow. And there's so much more to it than people think, and they don't get enough credit. They don't get enough credit at all.
Who would you say is the most underrated manager?
Underrated.
Like someone that just deserved more credit than they ever.
Well, Bobby Heenan got a lot of credit. We'll see. I don't know.
What about someone
Paul Ellering? I don't know, but I mean, they always Paul Ellering, Road Warriors, so he always seemed to get his credit due because you never mentioned Road Warriors without Paul Ellering. But he did a lot more also he like kept them organized. He became almost like a business manager type of thing. And although they did portray that through some of the years, but you never hear him still getting the claim. He's still alive and good. His daughter's wrestling, right?
Rachel. Yeah,
Rachel Ellen, and but they should be like. I don't know. If I had money and I was running a promotion, I would definitely bring him in and put him in with a team. I wouldn't get like an older worker. He's still unless he doesn't want to be doing it, and that's the reason he's not.
He was just with somebody.
Was he?
The Authors of Pain, I believe.
Was
it the Authors of Pain from they were with NXT and then they were brought up to the main roster. Yeah. So until they were let go.
Cool. So see that. Shame on me for not knowing anything. It's okay. So that's why you're here. You help keep me balanced out. So to save me from making a butt of myself.
Not at all.
Myself. But but there's a lot more to it than just going out there and being a pretty face or TNA or a loud guy or a dapper dressed fella. Whatever your character is way more complicated to make things work. But shame on the wrestlers that don't take advantage of having a talented wrestler or a manager or using them in the proper ways, because everybody feels like, well, it's not like the heat, wrestling is the intent of something, doing something. You don't necessarily have to do it, but it's the intent. You're showing people the intent. I'm intending to hurt this person, or I'm going to intend to slide one behind the referee's back and get away and be evil or something, whatever. But they always feel they go out there and it'll be I'll see a smaller heel, a bad guy, whatever you want to call it. And he's working this big face, but yet he'll have to outpower, and he'll have a manager, but yet he has to outwork this big guy somehow and take him down on his own. Where's your heat? Your heat, even if you could, even if we were equally matched, and say I was a perfect wrestler, like Kurt Angle, for example, is a heel, and then another one, if Kurt Angle he could go out wrestle anybody. He not everybody, but most everybody. He could go in there and handle himself in his prime. Well, I'll take him down. He's an Olympic gold medalist, right? He won the gold with the broken neck. But where is he going to get more heat if he does something just so shady that he didn't have to do an eye poke or rake or something behind the ref's back, or if he had a manager, he used that. They'd be like, why? Why would you'd have more heat? And people don't understand that and stuff.
Well, I was going to ask about someone like a Vicky Guerrero, who now in AEW represents multiple clients. What do you think about Vicky?
I struggle with it. I don't know. I haven't seen enough of it. I only saw one match, and it was in AEW. Just recently saw that it was a tag match. Rebel TNA or Rebel. Rebel. It was her and Nyla. Vicky and Nyla, I believe.
Vicky's.
And but I'm not a big fan of that obsessive screaming and obnoxious.
It's loud.
It's well, I have psychological issues, and I have anxiety. I have bad days, and screaming kind of brings me back to a flashback of an 18-year relationship, getting screamed at all the time. So but I think it's distracting. More talent. Good screaming, you can do more things, but I haven't watched enough as her as a manager to give an honest opinion about her managing. I just know that I watched that, and it happened to be a tag match, but it looked as though she was a manager in a tag match,
right?
But the screaming was distracting to me. But that's her gimmick, I think. Right?
It's definitely
it's kind of a gimmick, because the WWE should excuse. Right? So no, I couldn't give you an honest opinion because I haven't watched, but now I'm gonna have to go back and watch. Well, so what is your opinion, as I should ask? Now that you're out there asking me. Phone's down.
No, I just didn't want to be rude and have my phone, because those are my Sasquatch notes. Vicky, I'll say this, has always gotten my attention. When I was first getting into watching WWE religiously twice a week, and I was seeing a lot of Vicky, she always had a way of getting my attention. I don't know whether it's in a good way or a bad way, because you said, she's literally screaming in our face, but she does have a way of commanding a room that nobody else does. So
she does pull the short hair off too.
She's beautiful. I love it. I mean, and
it's not easy to pull short hair off. She pulls it off well.
It
her
is,
and Rhea Ripley.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Rhea Ripley. Yeah. Oh, another amazing talent.
She better win this. She better win.
I guess we should talk. Should we transition? Well, before we do,
she always has a way of getting your attention.
Yeah. That's what I'll say. She has a way of getting your attention.
Well, I don't know. I did. I mean, I'm guilty, and I'll admit it. Like, if this is supposed to be a wrestling podcast, I'm sorry. It's just I'm not sure what kind of podcast this is, but like,
it's a Sasquatch.
I don't think I've ever came out here with a format. Raymond might have said we had a format today, but I don't know if we were going to follow that format. But because I don't watch enough wrestling to follow his formats, he wants wrestling, and I don't know. I mean, I suppose if I came in here and started drinking at 9 a.m. I probably could tell you a lot of the older stories, which seems like a lot of people want to hear is on older stories. But yeah, it's hard for me to not to find the time. I have it all recorded, but then I kind of fast through and I miss things. But I mean, I could be biased and favored to things, or have my own personal reasons why I don't like particular things. So I can
Well, before we get into the Money in the Bank stuff, let me ask, like, let's say that somebody doesn't want to be a wrestler, they want to be a valet or a manager. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give to them starting out?
To train to be a wrestler.
Okay.
The more you know, the more you understand, the better manager or valet you'll be. You understand it all. I mean, you have to know more wrestling than the guys wrestling. You really should. Yeah, I mean, not to bring Luna up, but she should know everybody's movesets. So you're more valuable that way, and you got to work harder. And the referee is the same thing. You should train to be a wrestler, even if you want to be a referee, and you clearly want to be a referee. Go through the wrestling training and understand it. And then I think all wrestlers should be a referee for a year before they wrestle. Because then you'll understand, because as you're reffing the matches, you're in there ringside, you're like in the ring with them, and you're hearing, what it's supposed to be. And then you're going to go out there in a match and then see what it is, and then how it ends up and how they get to there. So you're going to learn, you'll learn so much. I think you should absolutely referee for a year. Do I do that when I was running shows? No, unfortunately. I tried to build all of my younger talent, female or male, up, and sometimes I just didn't have the time and maybe not enough my own discipline to have them referee for a year. But I truly think you should referee for a year. If territories come back and you're starting out and they offer you a referee spot, take it. Because, some people say, well, you'll get labeled. The older days, you get labeled an enhancement guy or a job or a referee. But it's not so true these nowadays. You can revamp yourself constantly, especially with all the social media, different things, and all the marketing tools that are out there now. You could totally change yourself. I can come here one day. I could probably wrestle as a werewolf next week if I did the right marketing, here. So you get a platform, you got followers, you get on other things, or you link up with the right people. You could change your stars. You can change your stars. You're not destined to be like this unless that's what you choose to be, So, but you can't change your knowledge without gaining knowledge and learning. So you have to go and log some hours. So you get in there. So you're a referee, and you see what goes wrong, and you see how they adapt and how they fix it. You hear what the back is screaming. You know what everybody wants. So then you see what happens. And then that's just invaluable. It's a valuable experience. You can't replace that. Money can't buy you that. And then plus you might catch even a payday. But the experience and the knowledge you're getting is insane. It's incredible. It's incredible if you keep your mind open to what you can learn. And the same as a valet or a manager too. Yeah, because you're right there. You know everything. You saw what was called. You know what was asked for in the back. You know what they put together, the intent and where they were trying to go. But then you see what actually happens, and then how they recover from it, or how they nail it, or whatever the situation may be. It's just I don't know what the word is, but need to do it.
Bird is the word.
Bird is the word. Bird.
And what you were saying before,
were you a Coco Beware fan?
Sure. Yeah, I like Coco Beware.
More staying at times. Like doing
what you were saying before, though, about like what kind of podcast is it? Like, from a lot of the comments that I've seen, they love the fact that you talk wrestling, but also other stuff too.
Right. Yeah. And to be honest, if I start repeating myself, you all got to let me know, because I don't know what I've talked about or not talked about day to day. I think I drive people crazy with that too, because I'll be like. I come in here before we start. I'll ask Raymond. I say, Raymond, you got to let me know if I've talked about something, because I have no idea. I don't remember the last 7 podcasts. We're on 8, right? We're at 8.
Yeah.
We just said that at 8. We started out. I barely remember that. 8 is great. I can remember
8 is great.
8 is great. So I don't know what we talked about in 1 through 7, unless he tells me to go share something, which he does constantly. He goes, He doesn't say, hey, go share this. He sends me a message with the link. So that's basically him saying, hey, go share it. Yeah.
Well, I
But
guess
he does a lot of work. Thank you, Raymond, for
yes,
doing all that in your free
Raymond
time.
and his mermaids.
Yeah,
Raymond and the mermaids.
Raymond and the
That's your
Mermaids.
band.
That sounds like a band. Raymond
Yeah.
and the Mermaids.
Oh my God, what kind of music
Raymond
do you
and
do?
the Mermaids. Some pop, funky stuff, probably.
No.
Indie.
Indie rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like a modest mouse. I get it. So I guess today's Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. So
Right?
it's tonight.
That's tonight.
Or right after this. So this
Yeah.
is. Okay.
Watch this first. Watch our predictions and then go bet in Vegas. Do people still bet? I guess they do, right?
I guess you could bet on wrestling, but I wouldn't.
Because we're about to give you all the right information. So if we win you a lot of money, send us a check.
The right information?
No,
You're very confident.
I'm not confident at all. I'm not at all.
Now, if you already had the results and we like try to swerve everybody.
Got the results right here, folks. Here we go. I'm your bookie.
No,
All
so
right.
what's going on with Money?
Money in the Bank match. We have Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, John Morrison.
I
Big
love John
E,
Morrison.
Ditto.
What's going on with his hair? It looks really dry lately, though. Like, I seen him working Ricochet or something. I glanced at it. I tried to watch it. See, I tried, but his hair's looking like when
couldn't
they
get
spray
past the
that
hair?
when they spray that black stuff in it.
Oh, okay.
I got to figure it out. They got any blonde stuff for mine, but I don't think that's his situation. It just looks like it's just like he's just wearing a different hairstyle.
Interesting.
I love John Morrison.
Ditto.
I think he's incredible. He did a thing where was it John Morrison? Yeah, it was him. Where he did a spin kick, a leg kick where he kicked Ricochet through the ropes, and he's just athletic.
He really is.
Yeah. He's awesome.
Okay, so we also have Big E.
Who?
Big E.
Oh, Big E.
Yeah.
Big E.
We got
I thought you said
Shinsuke.
Big Heat. You
Big
said Big
Heat.
E.
He got some big heat.
All right.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Matt Riddle and Ricochet. Can we get like a little political real quick? Because there was some like heat between Seth and Matt Riddle. Do you know about that?
So,
there was some
Matt Riddle can heat with people now.
big shocker, bro.
But I like Matt Riddle. I whatever I do, maybe not the fact that he's barefoot, like because that drives me crazy. I can't stop watching that he's barefoot.
Well, Rusev did it too, right?
Yeah, and I told him to get boots, and he did eventually because after a few bruised heels and sprained ankles, you'll end up at boots. The only ones that could pull off that no boot, no shoe thing is the Samoans. They were the kings of that. But then again, their feet are calloused like concrete.
Real quick though, did you see the Conor McGregor match?
Oh,
What happened to
tibia, huh? I did not see it.
Oh, it's.
Oh, you're a McGregor fan?
No. I mean, I think he can cut a promo, but like.
Well, he drew like an insane amount, right? Like, what was it? I think it was Devin Hannibal. Devin, he has a show, Hannibal, the Hannibal YouTube show and stuff, the Hannibal channel or whatever. And he covers a lot of things, and sometimes I'll click that on and listen to Hannibal. I mean, I like Hannibal. He's had some controversial past and stuff like that, but I've always gotten along with him. I've had some fun matches with him and stuff. He's come through some health things and this and that. Over the years with Abdullah the Butcher and all that, I don't know if you remember all that, like the hepatitis stuff, but he's coming on the better end of it. He's got all the treatment and things are going good. But I'll listen to his channel. I get along great with him, and I think he was putting like the views, the searches, the Google searches for this last fight was 12 million, and the most WrestleMania's probably ever had. Now I could be wrong because I'm doing this off my memory, which we've always cleared up earlier. 8 is great. We're on 8. I gotta remember we're even on episode 8. So. It was like 1 million or something, or
seems low.
Maybe 2, yeah, or something of that nature. But this usually UFC's like 5, but it was like 12 million. I think he said. I have to go back and look at this, but it was like high numbers like that, like crazily insane. So like yes,
and then he went out.
McGregor's a draw, but he went out and he's still.
And then he said that the other guy's wife slid into his DMs. Come on, Conor McGregor.
All right,
anyway,
so what's it?
Okay, so
here? You said it's a political stuff, or
no? So Matt Riddle's wife apparently body shamed Becky Lynch, which is never okay. Did you hear about that?
Maybe maybe I heard something, but I didn't pay attention.
Matt Riddle, I guess, did apologize to Seth, which Seth was happy about.
Body shamed like. Openly on like
I think
social media?
So enough for people to know. I mean, that's
I'm sensitive to weight and stuff, so I'm always going to be
you can't do that.
Yeah.
Like you can't, that's not okay. Like you can't body shame some, like, and Becky, you look great. So I don't know what
so I got moobs, the man boobs, and this here I'm gonna blame it's the sugar. It's the 5 Oreos I eat a night. I have an Oreo addiction.
Do you?
Yeah.
Double stuff or regular?
double stuffed vanilla, the yellow ones, whatever they're called. Sometimes the cookie birthday cake one sometimes.
Oh, funfetti or
but yeah, the one with the speckles. You got to put that in the refrigerator.
The speckles.
Yeah.
Put in the fridge, folks.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the lineup for Money in the Bank. So
yeah, but body shame is not cool.
Oh yeah.
So be kind to each other. Share a smile, not some negativity.
Share a
some
Snickers. Is that what the branding is? Okay, so out of all of these gentlemen, is there anyone? Oh, and Ricochet. Did I say Ricochet?
You said Ricochet.
Okay.
I believe you did, but I when you read all the names off, one's going to stand out to me. Whether that's who goes over or not is getting pushed the hardest. From what I've seen, and I'm not following the show religiously or anything, but Drew Galloway.
Drew McIntyre.
I'm sorry. He used to be
Galloway's sweet.
It's Drew McIntyre. Yeah. I'll know him as Galloway always because like we talked earlier about all the European stuff and all that and over in the UK. But what a tremendous guy. But he's a beast. They could get. Seth Rollins is always possible, but I don't know. I would think that they would keep McIntyre strong, but you never know. They might be looking to shake up things. You never know.
I feel like there's people missing. Like
was there some entrances or no? I don't understand. I've only seen one Money in the Bank.
No, I'm not saying that there's people.
And that was last year's one where the guy that doesn't do the great worm. He does the worm.
Otis.
Otis won it, I think, and then he lost to Miz. Right.
Yeah.
Is Miz in there? No, Miz is still in the wheelchair.
Miz is, He's still in the wheelchair. But people missing like Dolph Ziggler. Like, how do you have a?
He's.
I don't know. I just.
Like the Zigglers, the Jeff Hardys, or what?
Yeah, is Jeff? I don't know. So
Jeff's probably still recovering from that Hell in a Cell. What are you doing? Didn't he do some crazy stuff or not?
Sounds like Jeff Hardy. Yeah. So okay.
You think I would know Jeff more than other people, but.
So you're going Drew.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, if that's what happens, I don't know, but that's what I would want.
Yeah, it's such a shot in the dark. I feel like that's the obvious.
The obvious, yeah.
So
But I like him, so I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna pick someone not obvious. I'm gonna pick Kevin Owen.
I'm gonna say Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I just really like him.
Sami Zayn's not in there, is he?
No, I don't see Sammy or and Sheamus is back too, right? Like, so I'm kind of.
He's the U.S. champion.
Okay, so that explains why he's not there.
Kevin, he was there, boom. Yeah, but I'm still gonna go with the obvious.
Okay.
Well, but I like Drew, and I want to see him. And you mentioned it before. He got in the title during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of it. So let's see let's just keep him strong through the people returning into the arenas and as they're getting out on the roads and see what happens. I think he deserves that.
I don't disagree. Right. Are you excited to see all these different promotions now going back on the road with live audiences?
Yeah, man, it works for me too because on the independent scene, I'm slammed. Kind of like literally, I had a show cancel on July 24th or whatever week, 2 weeks, not this weekend, but next week. Well, I don't know what weekend this is airing, but whatever. I had a show drop, and 10 minutes later, I picked another one up. It was just like
That's
that.
Amazing.
And I'm like, people are calling for dates, and I'm already booked. I'm like, you can't just run it on a Wednesday or a Thursday, So a lot of work for people coming up. A lot of people are getting out there. A lot of people are enjoying wrestling and live events and stuff. That and concerts too. A lot of concerts coming time to the amphitheaters. A lot of outside stuff. A lot of people feel more comfortable at the outside venues.
Yeah.
So I noticed a lot of the shows are outside. I'm doing too.
I feel like I've seen you work Hammerstone a lot lately.
Yeah, just had him in Spokane, Washington for Relentless Pro Wrestling, I think. It was fun. It was in a brewery. It was a brewery.
Oh.
I think Spokane just opened up. I don't know. Sell out, but it wasn't a big venue at all. When I say small venue, it was small. It was a brewery. They probably had 350 or something like that.
Not too small. That's
jammed in, but they were jammed in and stuff. But it was a good show. He just put a lot of weight on back from coming off that bodybuilding contest and stuff. So he was like thick and heavy and carrying weight. But it was basic Hammerstone stuff. I like wrestling Hammerstone. So I've wrestled him at all. Like I wrestled the skinny Hammerstone, the Hulk Hammerstone, the Thor Hammerstone. Like I've had him in all stages. But I like him.
He's like a Pokemon.
I just like him as I'll show you So we joke because there was some other pictures, right? So this is from All Japan. I was got the thing here, but not so much in this one, but right around this time, I don't know if you can see this. You see that? But we put side by sides because I would wear black trunks and just boots, and he had a picture, the same picture, and we'd go side by side, and then I'd say, look like, like the joke said, you're gonna look like me now because we look like the same age, we looked similar. When I was in my good shape, we look similar, but now, so this is that. I don't know if you can see that. This is from All Japan in '98. This is right before WWE.
Like, so zoom in. Well, this is so cool.
Yeah. So
what does it say? Do you know?
It's just Japanese.
Yeah, I was wondering why I couldn't read it.
What I like most about it, and this is going to sound weird and cheesy, people, and it's not a vanity thing or anything like that. It says David Heath, not Dave Heath.
Right, David.
I called Dave all these years. David Heath, not Vampire Warrior, not Blackheart Destruction, Gangrel. This was, they said it on my own, but this is an All Japan catalog, so it's like really cool. If you look at it, like from '98, you got Steve Williams, Gary Albright, all gone. Masawa passed away. That's see, you can see down there. Look at that. That's more of my Ziggler look.
Look at you! Oh my gosh!
You see that? Down here, right? Where we at? Bottom left.
David
Heath. When I was put on there, so when I went on this tour, they told me this was All Japan, and I had just left the WWE dojo. So I went on there and they said, "Listen, you're going to be there." I am with Bobby Duncan Jr. Rest in peace. They said, "Hey, you're going to just be like, second match, no promises or nothing on this thing." And somebody missed their flight, and that's like my whole career. Somebody missing a flight, right place, right time. Like Brian Christopher was the same thing with getting to try out WWE when he saw the Impaler and the Anaheim Pond. But back to this one. I ended up working in the semi-main, and then I pretty much held that spot the rest of the tour. And then they offered me a contract, a year contract, tagging with Bobby Duncan Jr. They were going to put the belts on us over there and everything. But at the same time, WWE said they had the spot, which became the Gangrel thing. So, I don't know what it says. It's all in Japanese. So,
okay.
I'm ashamed. I do love Japan. I think it's a great country. I think it's one of my favorite places to wrestle. But I did not. I can't read it. I can see Mo saying Mizu, like ask for water, please, and stuff like that. Beetle, of course. The important things, But yeah. Yeah, I was going to tag with Bobby Duncan. They started tagging us towards the end of it, and they were going to keep us as a tag team. But I ended up going to WWF at the time, and it became Gangrel. So then I had some issues with the name, I guess. So now they branded me back as David Heath, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, is a bummer because I see a lot of people ask on here, like I've seen in the comments and stuff. Oh, have you ever thought about the action figures or whatever, like from the different people? But I have the name. All I gotta do is sign a piece of paper, and you can make any action figure you want out there, anybody or anything. Your merchandise. All I gotta do is sign you a piece of paper with the number on and everything, and you'll see that. But I don't know. They don't do it, and it's kind of bummer because it came out with that Brood set, but it was just Christian and Edge.
What was it really that about?
Brood set. I mean, you think. Not that I have a big head or anything, but like I was part of the Brood, if anything.
There's not a Brood without you.
So I don't know. I think they're missing out on maybe sales and money. I know I am, but I would just think more than the money. I think it just would be cool to have a Brood set, another Brood set after all these years. Why things have evolved, technology and stuff like that. But I am looking forward to. Oh my goodness, Raymond, you're gonna have to help me because I'm drawing a blank, and he would ask me about it. Raymond sends me a thing for the video game, and it's called Raymond. I got Virtual Basement's the one coming out, right? But they keep adding people. They just added like Kurt Angle and stuff. But the actual name of the game, they called it something else. It wasn't what they originally pitched it to me, but they changed it. But they're starting mocap. So. And I know they just sent me a message asking, if I'm going to come do my own mocap and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that. I think they just started with Crowbar, Devin. I've seen some stuff out there filming something. Some guy with a pizza doing a pizza entrance. But
Chuck E. Cheese. What?
The Wrestling Code.
Yeah, the Code.
Okay.
Right? Wrestling Code. That's what it's called. But by Virtual Basement. And so I agreed to that like over a year ago. So I'll be a download on it. So the deals they offer are different ones. You can do part of the overall sales, everybody's splitting that, or you could be split the DM, like whatever it is. You just download deal. Not DM, deal. Yeah, so I went with that, so I'll be on there. So hopefully soon I'll be shooting a mocap for that, going out. And then hopefully I'm not too grizzled to do my own stuff, parlor, whatever, banging, whatever.
That's awesome.
But I saw Crowbar. Devin was doing it, and they had put some stuff up there. So go check it out. Follow Virtual Basement and the Vault or whatever. What did you say was this called?
The Wrestling Code.
Oh, the Wrestling Code. Why can I not remember something like listen, I told you, 8 is great. We're still on 8, all right?
Are we?
So the Wrestling Code, and it's cool. They have a lot of people, and it's really surrounding a lot of independent people and stuff. So it's a really cool game, and they've had some other cool stuff in the past, and they've been successful. So this is taking longer, I think, due to the COVID and stuff. So a whole year was lost. So, but they're moving forward. Mocap's going down. Everything's going. So check it out. Virtual Basement. That'll be Gangrel on there. So I'm looking forward to it. So
that's what's up.
A little nervous if I start doing the motion capture because that's a lot of stuff you got to do over and over and over again. Because I know a lot of the guys who would do the mocap for WWE stuff and all that, and they were like, it's way harder than just wrestling a show. It's like kind of like Hollywood, but you got to shoot things in like 10, 20, 30 angles. The same move. And you got all these stuffs on you, so you get beat up more. They came out there more. People I know Chase Stevens was doing it, Micah Taylor, and all. They were coming out with concussions and stuff like that because it's just repetitive stuff, and you're trying to do other people's movesets.
Right.
So at least I know my own moveset. I'll be all right with my own grizzled moveset, not moon.
Ooh, moonset. That's
for the werewolves.
That's for your werewolf. Has there been a vampire werewolf hybrid?
Well, no hybrid, no. But there was a wolf Slash.
Okay.
Wolfie
Slash
D.
the wolf.
Remember Wolfie D?
Wolfie D.
PG-13 we talked about.
Yeah, now I know.
He went on to TNA and he was called Slash. Now you know who PG-13.
Yeah, I better know now.
Ice, baby. Yeah, he worked as a werewolf. There might have been a couple other people trying to pull the werewolf, but
kind of like the Ascension, right? Like when they were in NXT Developmental, it was more like werewolf themed.
They were like wolves,
right? Raymond. Okay,
I
no
mean,
help here.
He's a guy that I said I know Raymond. We gotta have guests on, right? And it's my fault we don't because I just don't like to call people and ask them anything. But Brian, I would like that Brian. I'll try to reach out to Brian. Ryan's cool. We missed him when he came in for Rusty's. But I was in Spokane wrestling Hammerstone. They came in. We lost Rusty Brooks, one of the South Florida, who helped train me. Kind of like father of independent, but he's helped so many wrestlers come out of South Florida, from Kirshner to myself to everybody's trained.
TC Reed.
TC Reed, but there's the Ascension. So a lot of guys Priscilla. Diamante, who's doing all right in AEW.
She's doing pretty all right,
yeah,
I'd
right.
say.
So yeah, he's really fathered a lot of wrestling spawns out there, children, And we lost him recently during the COVID. I'm not sure exactly what it was. He was, he's on dialysis. He had a bad back. He fell and hurt his hip, and then he was in and out of rehabs, and then just one day, unfortunately, he got the news he just passed away, and nobody knew for 6 days. It was so weird, and so sad. And but thoughts and prayers with his family and him, and I hope he's found some peace up there, dropping a big elbow on people in heaven.
Oh, I'm sure he's having a blast. People
go, what do you learn from Rusty? I go, what I learned is, when you get mad, you roll in there and you drop a 400-pound elbow on him. He would yell. We'd sit out there and train. He would just yell, that sucks. And he'd come in. If you got him really mad, speaking of TC Reed, he's caught one before. And it's a couple, but he didn't do it in his older years. But I've caught an elbow too. And I was like, what the fuck? He just get mad. He'd drop all the weight on you. But I learned a lot from him, as in a lot of things like that, what not to do, because like what I try to teach at school, learn my mistakes and the wrong paths I went on, and I would listen to his stories and this and that, which ultimately guided me to avoid a lot of icebergs. I don't want to become the Titanic, and so he pathed out a lot of things, and I listened to his charted territories and which way to go and not to go, and just the basics too, with him and Boris Malenko getting this on.
I was gonna say, one of my favorite things about going to your shows was, Rusty would always kind of be the greeting, welcoming committee, and he had the biggest smile on his face, and he was always so happy to see everybody.
He was.
He would light up my day. I could have a bad day, and
we would go train, even when we were training there, and you'd go in on a Sunday, and he would train from his neighbors must have hated him because he was taking bumps in his ring in his backyard at 8 a.m. You would train about noon, then you'd go down to the wing place and drink 10 pitchers of beer and destroy like wings all day, and then watch a pay-per-view, like whatever wrestling pay-per-view.
What a fun day.
It was like only mostly WWF back then, so like, and then I think maybe WCW started having some ones, but yeah, so it was that was like a Sunday, you know, once a month there, but without the pay-per-view, you still trained, wrestled Saturday, or trained and wrestled Sunday, and then still drank beer, like ate chicken wings after, like, and then you never had to leave. You'd watch whatever wrestling was on TV, and he'd break out the old beta VHSs, which were like actually like current then. Like, you know, like it's not like they were old then. It was like high tech cutting technology then. Like we'd watch that and stuff, you know. You can only imagine now if it was all done with all the links and all the wrestling, you could just hear him going, "What the hell is that? That's the shit." You know?
May he rest.
Yeah, he's probably flopping over watching AEW. Although in his older years, he didn't. To be honest, he did watch all the products and
did he?
Yeah, because he wanted to understand too, much like I do, which I don't watch enough of it, but what they're thinking when they come in. Like I said, when somebody would sign up to the wrestling school, I would look and see what kind of shirt they walk in. I go, oh, Kenny Omega. Okay, I know exactly where his head is, you know. Or they'd come in Road Warriors. Oh yeah, and he goes to the gym. Okay, he's gonna be a big stiffy, but all right, we got like, you know. But you would kind of know where their mind was because they come in. So I love when they come in wearing their favorite wrestler shirt and stuff. And sometimes I give them a little razz about it, like, oh, but really it's helping me understand who they are, you know, by who they're a fan of. And that's because that's what they're going to be watching and what they're going to want to try to do.
What shirt would you wear? I'm trying to think of how to ask
I've
this.
bought one wrestling shirt my whole life.
What was it?
It was a Barry Windham, The Kid Is Hot Tonight.
Okay.
It was a white long sleeve shirt and a writing on the sleeves, like kind of very OP-like, you know, like Coach Pacific kind of shirt. But it was a white shirt, like long sleeves with Barry Windham. White shirt, red lettering, and I don't wear white. It was the only one of the white shirts I wore besides my white puffy shirts.
Besides the famous. Okay, well.
Okay, all right. So back to Money in the Bank. So it's your fault. It was your fault.
My bad. We're allowed to tangent. We have an hour and a half.
All right, accountability. I don't know what happened. I have ADD. Like that song, "Sail." Blame it on me and my ADD.
What's the song?
Sail. I can't sing it. You can sing it.
What song is that?
Sail.
Sail?
Yeah, Sail. Right? You know that song. Oh,
like Sail from AWOL Nation? Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did a TikTok video with it.
Okay. Sail. I remember Sail.
Okay, all right.
I do remember. Okay.
I was hoping you'd sing it. Sail.
But they said it just like Sail. Like that's it, right?
Yeah,
okay.
It's
Give me something else to say.
All right,
not just one word.
Back to the Money in the Bank,
okay.
lady.
Current WWE champion, Mr. Bobby Lashley. And then, who's this match with? Hold on.
Kofi, I think.
Oh, is it with Kofi?
Kofi. I would love to see Kofi upset him. Although I'm a big fan of MVP coming back and resurging and being a manager and really making them like a great team. You know, the Hurt Business and stuff. And even to come out with the jewelry, with the THB, the Hurt Business, and like playing off the TCB with the Elvis and all them taking care of business and stuff like that. That's all cool because he's very, very MVP is very. Man, he's smart, you know, and he understands wrestling. And you know, he's the one that helped me understand, too, a lot how this younger generation and this stuff, like, when he talks, and he breaks it down, and it makes a lot of sense to me. And I break it down this way, too, now, with some of his wording and some of my thoughts is it's a video game generation, right? So, like, you could go in a video game, it'd be Kid Cadet, and you can go in there and kill like 20 Death Soldiers, you know, that are like 6'3" and bad mofos. But you, Kid Cadet, could go in there and singly wipe that whole squadron out. And I think that reflects onto a lot of the wrestling today. That's why you see a lot of the smaller guys wanting to get into it, besides the like massive drug testing and stuff that goes on, but the smaller guys come because it's a video game. So they're influenced heavily upon video games and what they see in video games and what they believe reality or fantasy and reality collide and cross and become one. You know, so I think that influences a lot of what you see. A lot of like what you see in AEW. If you look at them, they're younger guys, and I think that's they're influenced by that. They all play video games. They're on Twitch. They're gamers. Even Miro is a video game guy, but he's realized. Thank goodness he's realized he needs to work like a beast and be a monster. You know, because I see everything swayed back around, or he's back to like being like. We'll go back to the bashing Bulgarian, what we first knew him as, but yeah, going back to being a badass. You know. So
okay, so I I felt.
But I would love to see Kofi win that, even though I like them. So
I would like to see that too, but I miss the fact that Kofi's also not in Money in the Bank because he always has like the best, moves and like the most like, wow, did you see that?
Don't get me wrong, I'm not a New Day fan. I like Kofi Kingston.
I like Kofi too.
I'm not. I don't have anything against New Day. Before y'all get hot,
they grew on
Fruitios or Bootios or whatever.
It's Bootios.
Bootios. but Kofi will outweigh that group to me all the time. I like Kofi.
Kofi over Big E and Xavier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I like Xavier and Big E, I have nothing against. I just like I don't know. I'm drawn to watch Kofi. I don't know.
I like Kofi. I don't think he's gonna win. It's not personal. It's not personal. I just said I would retain.
I wouldn't be upset if you want to be.
I wouldn't be upset. I would be. That'd be great. Don't think he's going to. And then we also have Roman Reigns with your fave Paul Heyman versus Edge.
Well, I would love to see another upset there. Because everybody like just the journey Edge has been on, right? It came back, career-ending injury, came back, then. Was having a heck of a run, then tore both like triceps, then comes back again, and now they're like, oh, he looks like Grizzly Adams, or he looks haggard or this or that. He's just embracing who he is. He's embracing instead of like trying to defy and fight. He's hey, this is me. This is me. This is the rated R superstar, or Adam Copeland, or Edge, or whatever. And I think that's fucking. Excuse my language. I think that's awesome. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome, and you should be confident enough, and everybody should be confident enough to embrace how they look. Right? Like I'm not confident enough. Like my hair, it looks blonde here, but it's white. It's as white as these candles, or silver white. Or
Ain't nothing
something.
wrong with that.
So But I don't have that confidence that I can say, I'm going to be a white-haired vampire, because I don't think that I'd probably cut my hair shorter too to get it healthier. But as much as the independent shows, they expect to see Gangrel when they show up. What they remember Gangrel looking at, they don't get the white puffy shirt because that's just not going to happen. And now the hair is starting to fall. But they want to see the fangs and the hair is longer. At least that's what I think. So I try to keep looking as close to that as I can, and yes, fighting time, I guess, and stuff. But he's embraced it with the grayer hair and the beard, and coming in. So he's always been a lean guy, and he's a little taller, right? So when you diet down to get in good shape in old age, you're not gonna hold that muscle mass that you held at like 30 years old or 25 years old or even 40 years old. He's. What is he now? Like I'm 52, so he's got to be like 48 or something like that. I mean, somewhere in there, 47.
I think he looks good.
I think this just looks. I think he looks great, but all that backlash again. You don't know whether to believe it's storyline where they're saying, Vince McMahon said he looked too old, and they changed him out of the match and made it a three-way with Roman and who was it? Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan. And nothing against Daniel Bryan and all that, but I think Edge and Roman Reigns could have had a fine match, and I think they're going to have a great match now. And I'm pulling for Edge. Business, marketing, and all that. I think Roman Reigns, is probably what they'll go with because they put so much behind him. Although, I love the Usos, but you got that haunting you, the DUIs and stuff. So that you got like with any football team or anything else, there's that factor in because it's a publicly traded company and there's things. So what backlash you're going to get there, especially if the rumors are true or anything's true, they're thinking about trying to sell this company. You got to represent and carry it in a certain way, so they have to reprimand and do things in a certain way. But then again, this is America, and it's into proven guilty. But then his drug is up, his alcohol levels were high, so that's a tough one. And I love the Usos. I've loved them since a kid, so I'm going to stay super neutral on that. But that could, I don't think it would affect the Roman Reigns thing. But I'm saying he's in such a structured and thing there. Unless they were just going to be like, hey, let's just shock the world and let's be down on Edge and do this and this and that, and then flip the script on everybody. Because anybody raise their hands and say who's Edge going to win. Nobody's going to raise their hand. So
I would like to see Edge win also. Same way I'd like to see Kohi win. Do I think that there's going to be a change in the belts? I don't know. I think they're both going to retain. Could be wrong. Could be very wrong. But I feel like Edge still hasn't had his moment. Because like we were saying before with Drew, it's like Edge came back during, the pandemic. Well, he debuted in the Rumble. Came back. Mostly pandemic stuff. He really hasn't had his moment like to be.
And I'm not a Roman Reigns hater either. I'm like one of the few. Like I like people that hate on Cena. I love Cena. People are like healing on like downing on Roman Reigns. I love Roman Reigns. I think he looks like a wrestler. I think he looks like a superstar. I mean, I like Damian Priest. He's not quite as big as Roman, but like Damian Priest, like could have that Roman like come to that spot. But he's so tall, he's lean, you got to fill out. But Roman fits the bill now. He's the man for that spot. Don't get me wrong. So I'm always gonna have love for all the Samoan dynasty and stuff. They've looked out for me my whole like wrestling career. I've been intertwined or under their tutelage or their learning tree. Like my whole career, all the way up to even the later years when I started running my own stuff, branded and marketing and stuff. In Reno and Hawaii, he's not like a bigger name wrestling wise than him, but like tribal wise and family history wise, he's like up there on in the Samoan history family tree. But he shares a love for Bigfoot like we. Oh yeah, I think he just came out. I think he launched his own Bigfoot merch. And like, so, I did that graphic novel with, I think it was Kingston. It was called Squash Match, like Sasquatch Squash Match.
It's very clever.
Right? So I think he just did a whole like squash match, Sasquatch stuff. So it's like a Bigfoot with like Samoan, like tribal stuff. And like, so it's like Samoan so cool. And Bigfoot, like, marketing,
I think you need some like Gangrel Sasquatch crossover.
Yeah, but then it looked like I took his idea and I can't.
No, but you've always okay.
Yeah, I've always been it, but
fair enough.
Yeah, but then it looked kind of funny. We're friends. I don't want to look like I'm taking off somebody's stuff.
How about one of the women's matches? Rhea Ripley, who's the Raw Women's Champion, versus Charlotte.
Rhea Ripley, Luna Vachon. Put those two together. She liked them on. That's cool. I love Rhea Ripley.
I do too.
I think she's gorgeous. I love her vest, her medals, her piercings, her tattoos.
I always forget
her work. I think she's strong. I like the style of work.
She's so young too. Like that's what blows my mind. She's like what, 22, 23?
Oh, really?
I mean,
wow.
like she's very young. Hold on, let me just.
Well, she's got what Charlotte Flair, right?
24.
She's 24. Tremendous, world ahead of her. What a great spot
to be where she is at 24.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, Charlotte.
But she looks the part. But Charlotte's good. I'm not a big fan of Ric Flair. And I don't know.
So we've learned.
Yeah.
So we've learned.
Well, I'm a big fan of Ric Flair's wrestling. I'm just not a big fan of Ric Flair as a person. But Charlotte, talented, super talented, works hard. I've never seen her give anything less than 100% from any of the matches I've watched. So, and they've already had a couple encounters, right? They've already been going back and forth.
Yeah, this is another one that I'm like, do I see Charlotte taking? I mean, like, does she need to be champion again? She's already has so many records.
I don't know. The question is, I think, and then this is what brand? This is the
Raw.
This is the Raw. So which one is? So the Money in the Bank is what? Explain Money in the Bank with the women to me. So.
What?
The Money in the Bank with the women. You got.
Are you talking about the who's in the women's match?
Yeah.
Okay. Asuka,
right.
Naomi.
Bliss.
Alexa Bliss. Nikki.
Right.
Liv Morgan. Zelina Vega. Natalia. And
poor Natalia. She never gets just due. Never gets her just. She's such a great worker. She's always in she's in that Owen Hart spot, kind of like, let's get everybody else over Natalia. Because she's good enough to work with everybody, especially the ones that are not so well. So Natalia tends to make them all look good. So she's in all these, she gets all these rough spots. And she's such a sweet person.
But when you think about her career as a whole, she's definitely had some big moments and highlights. I mean, she's been in it for so long. I mean, she's
so did Owen, but he got stuck, and he always ended up hurt and beat up because they'd give him the Ahmed Johnson's and he broke his arm. Like you would get all these big clubber lanes, that couldn't necessarily wrestle. When you have talent, you end up getting the guys with a little bit lesser talent or a little bit more hard on your body and stuff like that. But but she's not gonna win it. So that's what I'm saying.
So who's your pick?
Alexa's had a good push, right? She's been
Alexa?
every time you turn a commercial. No, I don't know. Every time a commercial comes on, there's Alexa Bliss pushing the brand. Or I think it's the whatever brand she's on, the Raw or SmackDown.
I think she's
might be USA because I'm on USA a lot. So that Raw,
Yeah.
that'd be Raw. So because
Raw.
the USA channel's on a lot because somebody in my house watches tons of SVU and it is always on USA. So the commercials on a lot. So obviously there's a lot of branding going behind her and she's kind of got a lot of momentum, but. You got to ask yourself, is Becky Lynch coming back after the pregnancy? Because you brought her name up earlier, so when is she due back? And they like to do stuff in moments like these with surprise entrances and stuff like that. Does she come in? Is she a
But
surprise
now,
entrant?
or
because they left a lot of spots open, right? I mean,
it just says one to be determined. So.
One to be determined. Okay. So.
But now, or do they wait till SummerSlam, or is that too obvious? Because I agree, she's coming back. It's a any moment thing.
Yeah. So I don't know. So
maybe a Money in the Bank is, maybe it is her moment.
So I like to see Rhea Ripley win. Let's go back and be clear on that.
Okay.
But they may. It's probably gonna be Charlotte.
I'm gonna say Charlotte only because I think both of the men are retaining. So I'm gonna think a switch for the women. I don't know. I could be wrong.
The Money in
Don't
the
hate
Bank. We could just throw it out there and say Becky Lynch returns.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Alexa Bliss.
I would like to see Alexa. I mean, I'm not such Alexa, but I like characters, and she's doing a very I don't want to say it's cross between the Birds of Prey girl. What's that?
Oh, Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn, Luna. She's a little bit of everything mixed in, but so's the Fiend, and all that, all this subliminal stuff. So they're kind of all going. I like character-driven stuff and things that have subliminal messages and meanings behind them and stuff like that. And so I think there's a whole lot of little things people are missing probably that you'll hear 10 years from now in a WrestleMania, 10 subliminal messages you didn't hear about women wrestling.
Is that your movie phone voice?
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Do I have a movie phone voice? But Alexa Bliss. Yeah, I don't know. If I could pick two.
You can pick two.
Yeah.
They let us do that at Panera Bread. You can pick two here. I don't care. Pick two.
Pick two. There you go.
Pandora's box. What do you think?
Okay. Do we have time? Sure.
Do we have time? We're getting the thumbs up from mermaids and
mermaids. That's so weird. Mermaids. I'm gonna go. Is that really a thing? Mermaids. The Little Mermaid's a thing, but I don't know about the other mermaids.
Look at this.
They're not really
It isn't a thing.
Well, it's the Little Mermaid. Is made to be cute and not scary. It's just this it's
yeah,
Ariel.
she's cute.
But I have a feeling that mermaids are evil and mean.
Those would be sirens.
Those would be sirens. So I'm mixing them up. So you're getting hot at me now between
I'm
the
not
mermaid
at all.
and the
I'm
sirens
not
world.
getting hot. I could be wrong.
I'm just
too.
confused. I'm confused. But let's go back to wrestling. I'm even more confused with wrestling. But all right. So Pandora's box.
Yes.
But before we go any further. I got a special masked guest here. If you can't see it, we got a yellow fellow with a mask.
It's Jeffrey.
It's Jeffrey. How'd you know? It's me, Jeffrey.
I mean the giraffe.
But before you get to the Pandora's box.
Okay. Let's...
now you're all hot. We got to close the box.
I'm not
What's in the
hot
box? Say it, Jeffrey. What's in the box? Do you remember this guy?
Very well.
Do you remember the moment?
I very much remember the moment.
We're in the studio now. I know this airs a week later, but how long has it been?
Since exactly a year to the day.
Exactly a year to the day. I beat up Jeffrey.
You did.
And went viral.
Amazon Prime, bitch.
Bitch,
yeah.
yes. Poor Jeffrey. The end of his career, Amazon and then the Vampire finished him off. But that went viral. I think that's the only time I've ever gone viral. It went 1 million views overnight.
It was on ESPN.
ESPN. It was on all
the sports networks.
It's crazy. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
And you silly Comic-Con wrestling guys.
Right. FSCW, Fantasy Super
There it is.
Wrestling.
What is it again?
FSCW.
FSCW. Chamberlain came up to him and he goes, I got this guy. I go, no. He goes, well, you're the only one that'll make it work. So he wanted me to come out there, and Jeffrey was in the Battle Royal. The Toys R Us giraffe, in case you all don't know who we're talking about. And so I don't know. So he went out there, and I came up with I'm going to hit him with a package. So we had a Federal Express driver run out with a Amazon Prime package. So
it was
Jeffrey's in the ring. I tapped him on the shoulder. He turns around. I got the Amazon Prime package, and I holler, Amazon Prime, bitch. Bam! I hit Jeffrey in the head. Oh. Jeffrey goes up and over the top rope, and that was the end of Toys R Us. But I think they're making a comeback.
I think so.
Jeffrey's kicked out. Jeffrey's nipped up and getting ready to blow a comeback. Not quite like comeback Jesus made, but
You're talking to a Jew here.
I know, that's why I'm looking at
word.
it. But yeah, you don't believe in that though. But it's the difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament, I guess. But I don't study enough church Bible stuff to know.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do Pandora's box now that we rambling on because we
Shall
definitely don't
we?
want to go into that realm of religion.
There's some good. Well, it's a lot in here, so we'll see how many we can get through.
All right.
This is from King K Cash.
Kincaid Cash.
I don't King K Cash.
King K Cash.
Okay.
All right, I need some cash, King K.
King K Cash.
It's like Kid Cash.
Cash.
Oh, Cashmere. Oh, Cash.
Yeah,
Okay.
Cashmere.
Okay.
Okay, how was the gosh.
What?
How was the pay determined in the WWE? Did you get paid per match or one set fee? And they also said that they love the new podcast.
Well, thank you on loving the new podcast. Kid Cadet myself would like to thank you very much for that. On the matter of pay, you talking about money pay?
I think that's what they're asking.
Well, everybody has a different deal. Everybody's got a different deal. I don't think not one person has the same exact deal there because if they could beat you down for lower, they will. So, for myself, I had a base salary. Like there was a base salary, and then you would wrestle on the road and all that. And once you met the base salary, then you would make past that. So no matter what, you were guaranteed to make, say, 100,000 or whatever. And then once you met that, and if you're still on the road, and you know the year's still going, then you would make more, so on and so on. But then you also were back then. Now they do it a bit different, but back then it would be like a set, like say you were doing a video game or something. On the low end, like would be me, a low end, probably offer you like 30,000 a video game or something like that. So then but then you always do royalties all off the other stuff. So a lot of those guys like that, they make a base salary and stuff like Stone Cold and this and that, but where they make the real money at is all the royalties. So the more your face is money, and if your face is on a T-shirt, that you're getting money. So so you know, at one point, think about all the millions Stone Cold or The Rock made on merchandise, because you couldn't walk into a Walmart or walk down the street or walk into a Subway or go to a bar or something that somebody didn't have a Austin 316 T-shirt on, or even a Rock T-shirt at one point. But most of Austin 316 was like everywhere. So everybody has a different deal, makes different money. I couldn't tell you now currently how they do things, but I'm sure it's probably somewhat similar. Yeah,
that's interesting. Okay, well, I hope that answered the question about the money.
Yep. Thank you though for all the love.
Okay.
Money.
This is from
money.
Okay. This is from at Gaming Street and at Ludwig. Okay.
Ludwig Borger?
Ludwig von Beethoven.
Oh,
is it true that you? Okay. Is it true that you got fired from the WWE because you showed your stomach on camera?
First of all, I wouldn't show my stomach to anybody. You know, I hear Raymond? Did you put that question in this box? Somebody asked it.
Two people.
I read the comments and two people asked it.
I saw it.
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw it.
No, like okay, so. And no, how could I get fired if I wasn't even on TV? Like, so when that came out and they said that happened, I was already re-signed and sitting home. So then when I heard that rumor, I'm going like, how can you get fired if you haven't been on TV for your shirt coming up? Your shirt hasn't come up on TV because I was sitting home. So I don't know if it was the first or the second time. Was the ECW era, or was it when I came in? Was this right after the Viscera thing? Is that when this rumor started? When I did me and Viscera worked the Undertaker? So if it was then, I wasn't even on TV at that time. So, and then the other time my neck was broken. I was out for a year with a broken neck. So first time I got let go, I broke my neck, was out a year. And as soon as I was cleared to come back, I got released. And then I got hired back again, and I didn't do any TV. They never used me on TV. Not once. They hired me, didn't use me at all. Then they brought me back. They used me once. It was was it the Undertaker and Viscera match? Or was that the second time? Then there was that was all right. So when I came back, it was the handicap match that you've seen. It's the only one out there where it's me and Viscera versus the Undertaker. So I did that match. They hired me after that match. So, and then I never was back on TV. Like, that was it. Then I got let go 9 months later. Then they heard me again when ECW was coming and they were going to do a faction with Kevin Thorne, this and that, which I never did one TV. I didn't do anything. I was home. So No, that's not true. I don't know. That was probably somebody like Dave Meltzer that started that rumor or something. I don't know. But no, not true.
So you cleared that up, and also he's 6'2", ladies and gentlemen, guys. Let's just throw that out there, okay?
Thank you.
Wikipedia, wherever you're reading this.
But yeah, I don't know why. Like that's like. I don't look at his body shaming, but I am sensitive to stuff like that. I don't know if they're just asking.
I don't think it's a no. I don't think.
But
it's
whoever created that and came up with that was obviously ill intent.
There could have been a lot worse rumors that someone can make up about people. So,
but you got to go back when you report stuff and go, well, was he even on TV? Did he wrestle? Like, no, I didn't even do a house show. So let me clear it up. I wasn't even on house shows. I literally signed, did that match, got signed that night. And then sat home 8 months, 9 months, got let go. Then re-signed me again and never even had to appear at a TV or a house show or anything. And then got let go again because the Kevin Thorne thing that stable for ECW never got going.
Never happened.
Because I was supposed to start and he was going to come in. They did it the other way around and it just flopped. So when you report, and I don't mean to get bitter. Now you guys got me hot about this.
Well,
like, do your facts. Like, I mean, if you're going to be a journalist, I don't claim to be a journalist. I don't claim to do anything because I don't know my damn facts. But know your facts.
Amen. Preach.
But it's out there. That's not the first time I heard that, though. So.
Yeah, because someone...
Yeah.
Our friend is back.
Which one?
Curve
Solo.
Wait, I still can't pronounce it. Can you tell us about your time in ECW and what Paul Haymen is like to work with? Yo.
Remy, you sure you're not loading this?
He's like seeing into the future.
No. Time at ECW, it was a weird time in my life too. So Luna and I were like boom, boom, boom. There's a lot of substance abuse problems, a lot of shit on a higher, darker level that I wasn't on or could be a part of, certain drugs and stuff. So we were clashing a lot. In fact, it would just probably home a lot too much too with each other. It doesn't help, right? So I was trying to make it still and be somewhere like I was doing Japan here and there and doing other things, but I hadn't been to WWE yet, but I was being flown in to all the dark matches, and not dark matches, but the TVs. I was being flown all the TVs, and I would give people literally tryout matches where I worked as a Black Phantom a lot in that time. So ECW, I had a chance to go up there, and I think when I went up there, they had me work Hack Myers, like rest in peace Hack, and I went out there, and immediately they said, "Oh, you got a match with Tommy," and I think they expected to blow me up and go out there and take advantage of it. But then the match was with Tommy Dreamer. There's only one match. I think it got like nominated for feud of the year.
Oh,
it was just like one match, so it seemed like it was this big feud and all that. But it was just one match, and it was a fun match. But I had a chip on my shoulder going in because all the crap going on with me and Luna, and then ECW, that company. It was just there's so much drugs and so much chaos. It was an organized chaos, but it was a lot of chaos. And I kind of went in there and made a stand for myself. There had been some issues in a Japan tour with what the heck were their names? They passed away. The Eliminators. They were Perry Saturn and his partner. So I've never seen eye to eye with Perry. It goes all the way back into WWE too. Like later years, never seen eye to eye. He actually ran out of the building with his suitcase. But it's another story for another day.
Write it down.
But Paulie, I don't think ever really liked me. I think the point was they were just bringing me in to like kind of clown me, but it didn't go the way they thought it would go. I mean, I could be wrong. And then I just kind of stood my ground and weathered it out. And the people didn't really crap on me or anything like that. Like, I have a good rapport with the Philly fans and different things. So it just never panned out. And then something happened where WWE, at the time, said, like, they're flying me to all the TVs. And they go, hey, you got to come in on Fridays. They started making everybody come in on Fridays and Saturdays for the Monday TVs. They wanted you in earlier. Whatever reason they were doing that, I don't know. I guess to make sure they had everybody there and stuff like that. So I said, oh, I'm doing ECW stuff. And the WWF said, you got to make a decision. So literally, I made a decision to stay with ECW. And when I made a decision, they started trying to like just get rid of me. And then WWE didn't use me, but then they started working with ECW like that next week. Like, so I felt like it was just a giant weird rib, and it could have just been what was that timing? well, not bad timing for me, but coincidental. You know, it could have been coincidental, but I felt like they knew the whole time and stuff like that. But they made everybody fly in early WWE, but they made me make a choice. You know, I said, well, I can't do both. I can't just go there. They go down. So I had to make a choice, but then I felt maybe I took it more personal there because everything was so off in my relationship with her. And then when I was in the ECW, it just felt like everything was just like potentially to not hurt me, but to just clown me or just made me feel so at you. But maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just me that had a chip on my shoulder at personal time. But Paulie, I just never really trusted that much. Let's just wrap up old Pandora.
Okay, wrap it up. Okay, so we will save the rest for the next time. And we should also mention, though, whatever questions that you have for Gangrel, David Heath, leave them on YouTube? I mean, where are people? Instagram?
Okay, go and subscribe to YouTube, please. Even if you're listening to it on Spotify or iTunes or whatever, but go subscribe, YouTube, subscribe. But most of the YouTube, where are they reading them at, Raymond? YouTube? Is that where you're getting these messages from? So
Facebook.
So YouTube and Facebook. But I noticed a lot of these. I've read some of these but they're coming in on my email, so they come into YouTube. So yeah, do what you're doing. Keep doing them, but make sure you like and subscribe and share it, please.
Ding. Thank y'all.
So, I guess we should wrap it up and get on out of here. You got the gym to get to. I'm hungry. I'm hungry
too.
What are you
going to eat?
Because I started talking about the Jim Cornette thing, and then I got lost. Like, somewhere, like, we had to stop for 1 second, and I was like, boom. So I was so lost at the very end. So if it seems weird, like it was a weird moment, it was. It truly was, because we had to stop for a second because of technical difficulty. And I totally pulled the 8 is great. I forgot. Like, I don't even know what we were talking about. 5 sentences.
We were singing Grease.
So we were singing Grease during the break. So we're going to take you out. We'll say goodbye. We're going to let her finish off with singing Grease to you, but we'll say, want some?
Get some.
Bad enough.
Take some.
And then you can finish.
You want me to sing?
Yes,
like any
sing.
Grease?
Any Grease.
Okay.
Any Grease.
But now there's nowhere to hide. Since you pushed my love aside, I'm out of my head. Hopelessly devoted to you. There you go.
Yeah, we got to stop because I was going to start singing along with you and ruin it. Because we were talking about werewolves earlier and I'd been howling, because I cannot sing, but you sing beautiful. So that was a lovely Kid Cadet. And I'm Gangrel. Thank you for Fangin' and Bang with Gangrel and Kid Cadet. Have a great day.
We're going to go get some clams.
Ooh, Bigfoot.